back, everybody. I'm Mish.
I'm Bree.
And
this is Chat MBTea,
where we talk about life and shoot the shit.
So, what's been up?
What has been up? Well, we got crisp yesterday.
Crisped.
Not together, but
no.
We both
burnt the shit out of ourselves.
Yeah. So that was fun.
Yeah.
Here's how it works for me, at least, similarly to you, for you too. But you have that initial burn of the summer season.
Yep.
And then you just got to power through that. And then you just get tan. I just get tan after that. So like yesterday was my initial burn.
Fry. I need to fry a little first.
Yeah.
Become a lobster.
Yeah.
And then
smooth sailing from there. My face is definitely going to peel because I did not put sunscreen on it. So,
Michelle, you're getting full named.
That's my legal name.
You're correct. Michelle.
Rude. Okay. Here's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, okay. Also, I got a spray tan this week. And so the tan line, and she didn't spray tan my face. So like my body was darker than my face.
Mm-hmm.
And I was trying to have my face catch up to my body, And also when I was checking my tan, I saw like my tan line from my spray tan. And I didn't feel like I was, because it wasn't like scorching hot. And there was also a nice breeze. So I didn't feel like I was really getting any sun.
Mm-hmm.
Lo and behold, I FaceTimed my fiance last night, who is in Vegas on his bachelor trip, and I see myself in the freaking screen, and I'm like, I'm purple. Like, not red. I was purple. My face was purple. And then I showered, and it was just so bad. And then I woke up all swollen this morning.
I'm still not understanding why you put zero sunscreen on your face.
Actually, I was planning on putting on 15 because I went to my parents.
15.
I went to my parents' house because they have a pool and that's where I get my sun. And normally she has the 15 SPF Australia Gold that I would have done. So I did look in the cabinet, but she only had 40 and 50 SPF. And I said, I'm not doing that, because then my face will get no color and it will not match my body, because my body will get color. So I just, said, fuck it. And here we are. It's okay. It's fine.
Okay.
We're fine. Everything's fine.
Is it though?
On another note, we went to the gym this morning. I
was not fine.
Neither of us were fine.
No.
Because also the power was out.
So wait. So Thursday, it like casually hurricaned for no good reason.
Casually. Super casually.
Just out of like it was fine 1 second. I was leaving a pedicure and I bumped into my cousin. I'm sitting there. We're talking. We look out the window. All of a sudden, it's like couldn't see outside how bad it was. The power goes out. We're like, what is happening? Whatever. It calms down. We leave. I'm driving home. The light in front of my house is out. So there's no cops there. Nothing is shut down. And everybody is just attempting to make it a four-way stop sign while not actually abiding by any four-way stop sign rules.
The street light.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
And so I finally get home. My mom's like, we have power. Great. 5 minutes. No power. The power was out from everything so me and Mish live like a street light away from each other.
Mm-hmm.
From Mish's street light all the way down to my street light and a little past there is out. There's no power.
I have power.
Yes.
I've had power. I don't know how, because this whole area has been out.
Yeah. Cousin says power though.
Okay.
But they closed Marlboro High School because a tree and power lines went down.
Oh,
that's why that whole road was closed.
Oh,
yes.
I haven't been down there, so I
haven't either.
Okay.
But then, idiot that I am, yesterday went to CVS in the morning thinking, I just have to go pick something up really quick. It was closed. They have no power. I was like,
awesome.
never mind. But yeah.
Yeah.
A mess.
Super fun. So the gym.
Yes. So we walk into the gym thinking there's going to be power, and there wasn't.
They were open. They were open.
It was just pitch black.
So there's like the general weights like workout room that has a garage door that they open. So that's like the only source of light that room had. And then there's a separate room where all of the classes happen. They had power, but there was a class going on.
I wonder if they actually had power. There's also a garage door in there.
I saw the lights on.
Oh.
Yeah, super weird, right?
And then the glute
room also had power. The lights were on in there. I don't know why like the open gym didn't. But and the fan was on, which was weird. I don't know how that happened.
It was very odd.
But not great for us because listen, that gym doesn't have AC.
No.
Period. So we would have died anyway because it's hot as the devil's asshole out there. Like, it's hot. But I don't know why. Like, it was just like, it was dark. It was a cool vibe, but it was hot and I couldn't see anything.
I felt like a bat.
Except for that one spot where the garage door is. Like, I felt so disoriented. And then, yeah, it was not great. But we both have to do stairs at the end of our workouts and we couldn't because they had no power, which was awesome. So we didn't.
We didn't have to, honestly. Even if it was on, I don't think we were doing stairs today.
No, it was really bad.
So the funny part about this is we were talking yesterday and we're like, yeah, we're going to go to the gym in the morning.
Because I was supposed to go yesterday morning.
I was supposed to go Thursday, so it worked.
Yeah. So I wanted to move mine because I woke up yesterday morning with a debilitating headache and couldn't literally do anything. So I moved it to today.
Thursday, the hurricane happened, so
yeah.
So she texted me last night and she's like, hey, I think I'm gonna wake up around 7. I'll come pick you up at 7:30. I was like, all right. So I wake up this morning, it's like 7:15. Sorry, it's like 7:15, and I'm looking at my phone and I'm like, I haven't heard from her. I hope she's still sleeping. I hope that she missed her alarm and she doesn't come.
But you know that I don't miss my alarm.
I know.
You know, but here's the thing. I opened the Life 360 app before I went to walk Ginge because I also hadn't heard from you.
Right.
And I was like, is she awake right now? Because I have a gut feeling. Like, there's a reason I looked and I saw your phone was still plugged in. So I was like, this bitch just definitely didn't wake up. So I texted her and I was like, hey, I'm walking Ginge and then I'm gonna head to you, and I was just gonna kind of feel you out.
Yep.
And then you like didn't read it for like 5 minutes, and then you texted me back and like, sounds good, and I was like, oh, damn it.
So she pulls up and I'm like, I really wish that you just didn't wake up for your alarm this morning. She goes, stop, why didn't you tell me?
No,
Say no.
Yeah. And then we got to the gym and like we walked in, it's pitch black in the front.
We were like, this is not it. It's not the day.
But we were already there and we powered through somehow. You were struggling more than I did because you didn't even know what the fuck you were doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I had to do 20 lunges each side. It wasn't 20 total, 20 each side. And I had to do them outside in the sun when I'm burnt. Those were not fun. That was my first workout. And then I had to do the hack squat after that.
I hate the hack squat.
That's the worst.
I hate it. There's nothing fun about it.
Nothing. Not a single thing. And he has me doing 20, two sets of 20. And like, I think I put 10s on there and like, I barely got 15.
You're like, please.
Like, I can't do it. It's so awkward.
I would rather do the pendulum squat than the hack squat.
I've never done that.
It's intense, but I'd rather do that.
Interesting.
Yes.
Okay.
So, what are we talking about today?
So, since none of you listeners, watchers, whatever, sent in your crazy dating stories that we've been asking for, we decided to tell you some Reddit crazy dating stories, which is going to be super fun. We did not read them to each other prior to this, so we're hoping it's going to be a good time.
Yes.
Do you want to go first?
Sure.
Okay.
All right. Much Ado About Fluffing posted on Reddit under Dating Hell thread. So this experience happened. I'm going to say I'm referring to this Reddit person, not me.
Anything here on out is in quotations.
Starting story. So this experience happened when I lived in Houston years ago. I still think about it because I can't believe it happened even years later. I was wearing a dress, an elegant black dress that had slits on each side that went up to my waist almost. I had on delicate panties that had a tiny, dainty string holding each side to the main body of them. I was so excited to wear them, as many women can relate. I got them at Victoria's Secret and thought I was so cool wearing them. The sides were elastic, but not exactly break-proof. This is relevant for later in the story. I was on a hot date with a sexy man, and he was muscular, ripped, dressed in black slacks and button-up shirt. Amazing cologne on, clean-shaven, a professional businessman. So I thought he was sane. Appearances can be deceiving, though.
Oh, boy.
We went to a glamorous bar with a marble black counter in a square, and we've been sat at a booth. So I told my date, trying to be super cool and equitable in the date, I'd buy the next round of drinks. He said that was a nice gesture. He argued a bit, huffed and puffed, but eventually agreed to let me. So I get up, wearing 6-inch stiletto heels, and walk to the bar counter across from our booth. I ordered a vodka and a whiskey. As the bartender handed me the 2 drinks, my date jumped out of the booth and was standing beside me. I couldn't understand why. I looked over at him thinking he was going to pay for the drinks because he didn't like me paying or something. Oh, no. I smile at him and said, "It's okay. I said I'd pay, and I'm happy to pay. Makes me feel good to buy you a drink." He looks at me, smiles back, says nothing. I'm standing at the bar sideways, holding the drinks as the bartender's running my card. Then he lunges at me, puts his hand on my hip, a little under my dress, and rips my panties down to my ankles, then tears the sides of them so they snapped, takes them, shows them to the bar triumphantly, and throws them in the trash can near the bar.
What? Why?
To say I was stunned is an understatement of epic proportions. The bartender and people around us all took a few seconds, like myself, to process what the fuck just happened.
What? I have so many questions. Okay, continue.
I put the drinks down and asked him, "What the fuck?" The bartender said to him, "Get the fuck out now." I grabbed my card and left the drinks as I wanted to get the hell out of there. I walk outside with him and asked him if he was off some medication or if this was a prank of some sort. He said he thought I would think it was sexy that he could rip my panties off so fast.
What?
He was smiling at me like a cat. He apologized and said, "Let me pay for the Uber. Just drop me off first." He lived near the bar. I was miles away. We both came in the same Uber, so neither had our car there, so we could drink responsibly. I called an Uber. He got in and sat in the back. I sat in the front. It was a minivan. I was laughing because I couldn't handle any other emotion at the time. Shock was all I felt. I have male friends who do stupid pranks, so I was thinking he messed up and thought it would be funny. I don't know. But to add to the bizarre batshittery of the situation, as we drove down a street at 45 miles per hour, he opens the van door, rolls down the street, and jumps up like Batman and runs off into the night.
What the fuck?
I don't know who was more shocked, me or the Uber driver.
Oh no!
I wasn't able to overcome my idea that even though he had done this stupid prank, I had to be polite in ending the date still.
Oh my god.
Now I would never put up with that again. But before you judge, remember this all happened in minutes, and I was new to dating after a relationship ended of many years. And my be nice woman instinct was still in effect. And this incident made me completely change all I put up with forever on dates. Yes, a normal day can turn insane in an instant. and processing it can take a while, as when it's happening, your brain is at odds over who you were seeing versus who they just pivoted to. We had hours of good date before this happened and went to 2 other bars and a restaurant before this. Imagine hours of goodness and then this. I'm telling you, the human mind can only bend so far. When you like someone, you want to give them the benefit of the doubt or a second chance. It's human. Now, any signs of depravity or stupid pranks, and I bail. He can find his own way home.
I have so many questions. Okay, so it's like her slits. You can't see the underwear, right? Like, he went up her slit? Like the slit of her dress?
Because they were like high. There was 2 slits.
Yeah.
And went almost up to her waist.
Right.
So he like went up and like,
oh my God. That's awful. That's so bad.
Wait, besides that, because that was god awful. But like, I don't know, maybe you watched 50 Shades, was like something. I have no idea. But then you get in the Uber and think the best way to leave is tuck and roll out of the car? Are you kidding me?
No, that's so bad.
Oh,
that's so bad.
Yeah.
Damn.
I
know. Wow. Okay. Starting off strong.
Oh.
Okay. I feel like I need to follow up with a funny one. Dated this nice English woman for 2 years. She was extremely beautiful and funny. Now we usually go and get some pizza down. Oh, I don't know what thread this is, by the way. It's under Crazy Dating Stories. I screenshotted it. Sorry. Okay. We usually go get some pizza down the road from where I lived at. We would usually just go together, but on this particular day, her BFF wanted to come along, so we let her. She also brought her boyfriend. So yeah, I was on a double date. Now, fast forward about 30 minutes into the double date, we were eating our pizza, and having fun and laughing at all of my girlfriend's voice impressions. It was going great until my girlfriend's BFF's boyfriend got up and told her, I have to go, I have a lot of videos to edit, and I have homework to do. I said, it's no problem, man, go do what you gotta do. He smiled and said, see you later, it was great to meet him. You might be thinking, where the heck is the... Oh my God.
I believe in you.
My brain is not functioning today. Where the heck is the best part? Well, here it is. His girlfriend gets up and gets on one knee. Now I was shocked. My girlfriend was shocked, and so was he. She stood there and said, Brian, I love you so much, and these last few years, it's been such a great experience with you, and I would really love for you to be mine forever. We've been through it all together, and I would not want to spend the rest of my life with you. He started to cry and sob. I thought he is extremely happy and can't get a word out. He lifts up his head and says, are you ready?
No.
So after you cheat on me with my brother, have sex with my best friend about 1 week ago, you want to marry me? Needless to say, I was dead ass shocked and fucking stunned. My question is, you knew that? Why are you here? Why are we in this situation? Let alone her proposing at a pizza place on a double date. But like, you had all of this information and you are here a week later? I'm confused. Do you have words?
No.
No, me neither.
That wasn't the turn that I was expecting.
No, that was the first comment. I don't think I saw that coming.
No! What?
Crazy. Did not see that coming.
I have no commentary because I am too stunned to speak.
Yeah.
Oh.
Next.
This one's good.
Okay.
All right, it was deleted, technically deleted, so it doesn't have a person who put this here, but it's under dating. It's a long one. It's really not. It's actually quite a short one, but it's fine. This guy, again, the story, not
Quote.
me. This guy picked me up and offered me some pot. I declined, and he admitted he had already smoked and was high. We're supposed to go to a lake and hang out, but we didn't want to pay for parking, so we parked what we thought was like a quarter mile away. It was 8 miles. I'm wearing flip-flops and a sundress. This nice old couple picks us up before we're a mile in and even offers to take us back later. Well, at the parking lot, we took the wrong trail and ended up going to the wrong lake. It was freezing. When we walked back, the parking lot was empty, so we started walking the 8 miles back, and it was starting to get dark. We also realized he locked his phone and keys in the truck, and mine died because the service was sketchy.
Oh my God. This is the beginning of a horror movie.
We run into this lady who is literally running with wolves. All the wolves are fucked up, like missing a leg or an eye, and she starts yelling that they're friendly. So we're just randomly petting some wolves.
I would do that. I would 100% be petting some fucked up wolves with an insane lady screaming that they're friendly. I would take them home.
Apparently, she rehabs wolves and has to take them on a few mile runs several times a day.
I love that. I love that so much.
It gets better. We explain our situation, and she offers to let us use her phone and follow her back to her house. She starts running through the woods.
Oh,
so
no.
I'm chasing after her in my flip-flops.
No!
The best part. We get to her house, and one of the wolves just runs off, and she's like, oh no, the neighbors hate it when that happens. Like, I fucking bet, lady. She lets us in her house, but it's all dark. And apparently one of the wolves left a big old pile of shit in the house, which my date steps in barefoot.
No!
So now we're outside, hosing his foot off when AAA arrives. We get back to the truck, go get Chinese food, go back to his hotel. I regret hooking up with him, but I was young. When we were fooling around, he no shit says, "Are you ready?
No.
Would you like to play with Cockosaurus?"
No. Oh, no.
Then there's an edit. She goes, I forgot. He's not a model or anything, but a few years later, I saw him on the cover of a magazine. I was like, oh my God, it's Cockosaurus guy.
That's hilarious. Oh, no. I want to rehab some wolves.
I love that that's the part of the story you're stuck on.
Yeah, it's my favorite part. That sounds awesome. Running with them, not so much. I don't do running, but...
Oh my God.
Okay, are you ready?
Yes.
Buckle up, it says.
Oh God.
Mm-hmm. So this girl I was talking to on a dating app started getting super sexual after a really short time. Super dirty stuff. She invited me over to her house, and me being young and horny at the time, I got in my car and drove 1 hour to her house. When I knocked on the door, her mom answered. She let me in and introduced me to her father, her husband, and some little kid. The girl showed up looking nothing at all like her photos. In parentheses, wider. And before I had time to say anything to her parents, to the parents, let's get it together. Please. Please. Before I had time to say anything to her, the parents offered me dinner. I then sat at the dinner table and had dinner with this family who I did not know at all. The food was takeout chicken. You know, barbecue chicken. There was clearly not enough for all of us. I'm getting a call. There was clearly not enough for all of us. So the mother gave me all the biscuits and gravy. That's all I had. Everyone else had delicious smelling chicken. They served warm, flat Diet Coke. The entire meal, the girl I was supposed to be banging would not make eye contact with me. The father put a slice of American cheese on his chicken at one point. Weird. I said
Odd.
that, not them. At no point during the meal did they ask why I was there or any other real questions. They had a normal family conversation about bills and light politics. To my absolute horror, when the meal was done, the mother told us all to go downstairs for dessert and a movie. Keep in mind, I'm like 27 years old. The movie was Walt Disney's The Black Hole. The father said it was his favorite movie, and of course we watched it on a tiny color TV and a VHS cassette. I noticed as we are getting our seats that the girl is nowhere to be found. I'm sorry I'm reading it like not normally. There's a lot of spelling errors and it's making it really difficult.
That's fine.
The girl is nowhere to be found. I'm sitting alone with strangers watching this jank-ass Disney movie. After about 15 minutes, I make an excuse to use the bathroom. I figured I could dip out and get the fuck out. I asked if I could use the facilities, and the father tells me it's upstairs. I make my way upstairs, and sitting in the kitchen is the girl on her phone. She just stares at me. I still remember all the chicken grease on her face from the meal. I did a tight closed lip smile and yeeted my ass out the door. When I got home, I discovered she blocked me on the app. I deleted the app.
What is happening?
Weird. Just all the words that I have, weird. Like, in what world?
I would have been scared I was going to get murdered. Like, that's not normal.
What's that movie? Where he goes to visit his girlfriend's family and they end up being like,
yes,
absolute batshit crazy.
I know what you're talking about. I don't remember the name.
But you know, like, that's
yes.
what this feels like.
Yes.
Weird. Like, also, why are you upstairs on your phone? And like, it doesn't seem like they had any conversation at all whatsoever. So like, you made this poor man drive an hour to come see you after some explicit conversations, and then made him sit with your family saying nothing to him, and then allowed him to watch a Disney movie at 27 years old with your parents.
I have no words.
What the fuck?
I have not a clue.
Weird.
Weird is an understatement.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So again, this one doesn't have a name. It was deleted, but it's good. So it goes, not me, and not exactly a first date, but here it goes. My friend went out of town for a work conference and ended up meeting a woman. They hit it off instantly, and he spent the rest of the weekend with her, but had to fly home Sunday afternoon. She tried to get him to stay a few extra days, and while he was into it, told her he couldn't, but they made plans for him to return a month or so later. So he gets home and is telling us about her, how she was great, the connection was immediate, the spark was something unique, we were stoked for him. Then he flew back to her a few weeks later. From the moment the plane landed, it was a nightmare. He started a group chat at the airport, she picked him up, and was in a mood from jump, treating him like they were already in that bickering couples phase. They get in her car, and he's texting the chat, and she goes silent. He tells her he's just letting his friends know he got to town all right. She continues the silent treatment. And they popped in somewhere for lunch, and she's still annoyed. He gets a beer, and she's criticizing his drinking habits, even though they met at a bar. They make it back to her place, and my friend expects things to chill out, but no. She gets mad that he's not taking his clothes out of his bag and hanging them up in the closet, which gives her the impression he doesn't want to be there.
I wouldn't want to be there either.
My friend, exhausted with the 180 from the person he thought he knew, lays into her. She tells him she's upset because it took him too long to get back to visit, and he didn't commit to staying long enough. My friend calms her down, tells her to start the shower, and he'll join her just as soon as he takes a work call. She seems happy enough, and off she goes.
Oh no, did he leave?
The minute he hears her get in the shower, he starts getting his bag together. Once he has everything ready, he starts to head out. The way he explained her apartment was that it was small with a heavy front door. There was no way he could open it without her hearing it from the shower. So he made plan B. Jump from the second-story balcony. Don't believe me? He video chatted us first.
No!
At work. Talking to a colleague when I see a phone call from him. So the guy getting the call goes, okay, Mark, but you need to get the fuck away because I have to take this call. I answered. The first thing I see is my friend mentally judging the distance from the balcony to the ground. He fills me and our other friend in. She's gonna end up Kathy Batesing me, misery style, if I stay. I need to get the fuck out of here now. we get to watch him jump and crash into the grass. He grabs his bag and starts running down the street. I've never laughed so hard in my life. Maybe 5 minutes passes and she starts calling and texting him. She knew what was up. My friend walked to a Target somewhat nearby, Ubered to the airport, finagled some sort of discount voucher to rebate to get an immediate return flight, and waited it out at the airport.
Oh my God. But why not just like she's in the shower? So yes, she's going to hear it, but she's also going to know that you left. Like,
I think his thought process was like the way that she was acting and like the craziness of it all is if she heard the door, she would have threw clothes on and tried to chase him. If she didn't hear him leave, he would have been far enough for her not to be able to know where he was at that moment.
That's insane.
Wild.
That's insane.
Yeah.
I don't blame him.
No.
That's some unstable type shit.
Yes.
Okay. Met a guy through Match. Quote.
Okay.
His profile said he was a veterinarian. On our date, I asked if he worked at a local clinic. He said no. He worked at a racetrack and looked after some of the horses. Spent the next 25 minutes telling me about all the ways that horses regularly die during, before, and after races. As this was upsetting to me, I tried to change the subject, but somehow the conversation went back to his days at vet school. He asked me if I realized that veterinarians have to do surgery too. I said yes. He then proceeded to tell me how bad he was at surgery and how he killed several dogs during the course of his training. Note, he said this not remorsefully, but almost as if it was a joke, like he killed a potted plant. At this point, not only was I getting upset due to my love of animals, but I was getting a, quote, this guy is a weirdo vibe. So I tried to end things. Silly me, casually thinking that he was up to that weekend. Silly me casually asked what he was up to that weekend, and he said he was doing a vaccine clinic for cats' dogs, and that if any of the, quote, little annoying yippy, end quote, dogs came in, he'd stab them extra hard with the needles. I literally ran back to my car and immediately blocked his number. End of story. Well, there's an edit, actually.
Okay.
Edit. I totally appreciate what you guys are saying about reporting him, but honestly, it was like 5 years ago and I don't even remember his name. At the time, I was just afraid he'd hurt me somehow and just wanted to get away. But I do understand as a pet lover, this is very upsetting to know someone like this could be your dog/cat's vet. Sad face. I'm upset.
Yes.
I'm very upset. He needs help. And to stay far, far, far away from any animals.
Yes.
All animals.
But if you don't like animals, why would you try to become a vet?
Well, I think that he has this like
he likes
serial
hurting.
Killer sadistic type of, yeah. Because this is where it starts. It starts with animals and then
I know.
So bad.
I wonder if he's a serial killer now.
I wish she remembered his name.
I know.
It would have been helpful.
Yeah.
Okay.
This one's really long.
Okay. I'm buckled. Buckled in.
The worst date ever. The summer I turned 21, I was going to this under 21 club with my best friend and her cousin every Saturday. One night we went and met this guy, Dean. My best friend, we'll call her April, and I were standing in line to get in. Dean came up to us, said something, then stood there so we could skip the line. When we got inside, my friend and I split up. She'd been hooking up with a guy all summer that she met there, so she went to hang out with him and his friends while I went and stood at the bar by myself drinking a Red Bull. After a little while of standing there and being awkward, Dean came to the bar and asked me if I wanted to get a real drink at a place he knew around the corner. I just turned 21 and was excited for some adventure and honestly very bored, so I said yes. I told April where I was going. She told me to be safe, and we left. He brought me to a restaurant. We sat on the patio. We had a few drinks and talked for a couple of hours. It was really easy talking to him. I was a giggling mess and people were staring. I thought it was my giggling, but looking back, I'm not so sure it was. April later came by to check on me with one of her man's friends. We talked in the bathroom and I remember gushing. We then agreed to go home in about an hour, meet up at the McDonald's in town that everyone from the club goes to when it closes. So the hour starts creeping up and Dean and I head out. When he dropped me off, we scheduled a date, then he gave me a quick peck on the lips. So obviously this wasn't the bad date. The day of our date came around and I had a bad feeling in my stomach, but I chalked it up to just nerves. We were texting a bit a few hours before the date. He called me and said he was lost in the woods with his friends. I said we could reschedule, but he insisted he was still up for it. But why was he getting lost in the woods a couple of hours before a date? Anyway, I got ready. He was a little late, but given him getting lost, I let it slide. He told me he was around the corner, so I went outside to wait. I'm standing on the corner, looking fine, and eyeing this guy across the street. He was cute. He was clearly looking at me, too. Next thing you know, Dean comes around the corner, blares his horn, and yells with his head out the window, "Hey, sexy lady." I was so embarrassed. Mind you, I live on a one-way street, so it's super quiet. I kept my head down, walked around the car, awkwardly walked in front of the cute guy I was eyeing, and got in the car. Red flag number 1. When we started driving off, I asked what we were doing. He said he was taking me into the city. I perked up a little because I love the city. It's always an adventure going there. We're in the tunnels, and he started driving really close to the cars in front of us. I had PTSD at the time from being in a bad accident. I was scared and closing my eyes, so I explained this to him, and he said, well, they're driving too close to me. Red flag number 2. We get out of the tunnel and stop at a red light. Okay, so we're a few cars back. The light is red. Please tell me why he was honking at the cars in front of us and yelling at them. Red flag number 3.
Oh no, I hate this.
The light turns green. We turn the corner, and what do we see on the side of the road? A horse and carriage. I awed and said that I wanted to do that at one point. I've always found that riding in one with someone would be very romantic, and I'm a romantic. What did Dean do?
Oh no.
He pulled up next to one and asked the lady, and I quote, "Excuse me, how big is a horse's penis?" He was smiling and waiting for their response. I shrunk down in my seat as the person looked between Dean and me and looked startled. They said, well, that's inappropriate, and they actually answered him. I didn't even hear the answer because I was too embarrassed. He thanked them and we drove off. Red flag number 4. So at this point, it was too late for me to leave. I felt stuck on this date in the city, so I proceeded to ride it out and see what else could possibly happen. Oh boy, buckle in, because there was about 10 more red flags. We got out of the car and was walking down the strip, and he suddenly popped into a shoe store. He was all, maybe I can get new work boots. Didn't even tell me we were going in there. We were walking along, and he just walked right in with no warning. I actually walked past him before I realized that's where he was going. So I followed behind him. He was talking to a clerk. He picked up a shoe off the wall, sniffed it, slammed it on the counter, and then walked out. I'm standing there with the employees completely confused as to what just happened. It took me a few seconds, but I ran out the door to catch up with him. Red flag number 5. We then kept walking until we came to an H&M. He said he wanted to take me dancing later and wanted to buy me an outfit. So we go in, I look at some dresses, I go to the dressing room to try some on. After a couple dresses, Dean called over the door asking how it's going. I said it was fine, but didn't find one yet. He then said, let me see, and pulled himself over the door to look. Luckily, I was dressed. Red flag number 6. When he got down, he said he was going to look for someone who could help us. I got back into my clothes as fast as I could before he could do that again. I then went out to look for him. I found him standing with 2 employees looking for some clothes for me. One of the ladies seemed to be South Asian or Middle Eastern, maybe Indian or Muslim. I wasn't sure. She was talking. Dean leaned over and sniffed her. Full on sniffed her. And said, oh, sorry, I thought I smelled curry. And then turned and walked away. Red flag number 7. All 3 of us women had our jaws dropped, and I was panicking. Who does that? I found him in line for the register. He'd grabbed a pair of ballet flats and a package of socks for me. He said they were rude and we needed to get out of here. So we left. We're walking around the common when he spotted an AMC theater. He got excited and wanted to watch a movie. We go in, got in line for the ticket counter. I'm once again eyeing some cute guys behind me. We get to the counter. He asks what movies are good. The lady says, as above, so below, which, if you haven't seen this movie, completely side note, it racked me to my core.
Really?
It's a scary movie, but
can't do it.
It's not jump scare scary. It's
thriller.
Wild. I don't know
Is
how
it a psychological?
Yes.
Okay. I like those.
It's It's about the catacombs under Paris and how apparently people believe that the gate to hell is there. Wild. Ooh. And it's like one of those like film movies where like someone's filming and it's supposed to be like for like a vlog that they make later. Unreal.
Okay.
Good movie.
I have to watch it.
He asked how scary she thought it was, and she said it was pretty scary. He then turned to me, grabbed my shoulders, bent his knees, and started shaking them and said, "Oh my God, this is going to be so scary." Red flag number 8. Once again, I was too embarrassed to look at the guys behind me.
What the fuck is happening?
So now we had some time to kill into the movie. So we walked around the common some more. He led me down what looked like an alleyway, but was actually a passage to a club and some restaurants. It was dead since it was still afternoon. While we were there, he took a minute and just stood there looking around. What he said to me next, I really wasn't expecting. He asked me about April and how I knew her. I explained that we met when I was the new kid in the 5th grade, and she's never left my side. Then he asked, "Do you think I would have had a chance with her?" No. Red flag number 9.
What is happening?
We went back to the common and found a little hutch that served subs. As we're waiting for the food, I can't remember what Dean said, but I do remember the look on the server's face after he said it. For the millionth time, I asked myself what I was doing with this guy. We sat and ate, then the time came for the movie. We got into the theater and looked around. It was pretty full except for some seats in the back. We got about halfway and he stopped me. He said, "Should I ask those people there to move so we can sit there?" He pointed to a family. I said, "If you want to, you can, but I'm going to sit in those empty seats back there." Then I proceeded to those seats. He didn't follow me until after I sat down. He looked like he was really contemplating on whether to ask them to move or not. The movie was the best part of this date because he didn't talk. When the movie ended, he said he needed to go to the bathroom. I waited in the lobby for like 10 minutes. I was texting one of my good friends. Let's call her Rachel. Rachel was telling me to get the hell out of there and go pick her up. I told her maybe. Well, I looked up and a lady was coming down the hallway in my direction. She was just about to pass the men's bathroom when Dean came out. She stopped for him to come out. He looked at her, then at me. He ran over to me, walking weird, because he was trying to show me his pants and said, "Oh my God, I peed my pants." He was laughing. This was the final straw and decided that I needed to go home. He walked out of the theater and I texted Rachel to get ready because I was coming to get her soon. I told him that I needed to end the night because of my grandmother and that she needed me home. He stopped, looked me in the eyes, and with a very stern face, asked if I was lying to him. I said she knew I was on a date, but needed me home. He said okay, and we started walking back to the car. He decided to take a detour, though. It was nighttime, and he decided to take me through the common to a war memorial. It was designed to be walked under it. So we're walking, and I looked down, and there were like lights. There were little lights to look like stars. I was like, "What is that?" And he said, "Hold on, look up." I looked up and he kissed me. I was thinking about where this guy was all night. We then proceeded to walk back to the car, which I had no idea that we walked that far away from. At this point, it started raining. We were getting soaked. We walked past a hotel and Dean somehow convinced the doorman that he was staying there and got them to let him borrow an umbrella. A little while later, we went to the car and left. We got back to my place. He kissed me again before I got out of the car. Then I grabbed the bag with the shoes and socks, and he said, "Wait, are you really taking those?" And I said that I was. At that point, I felt so uncomfortable that I was pretending I was going to see him again just to get out of there. Also, that bag was the least I deserved after that date. After 3 minutes of being in my apartment, he called me, said he liked our date, blasted an EDM song into the phone, and then said, "I don't know, that's just how I'm feeling right now," then hung up. I never heard from him again. Yeah. The whiplash.
I don't have any words for that. My chest hurts from gasping so much.
Who is this man?
There's definitely something going on there. Like,
for sure.
That's not normal behavior.
No.
I'm so glad she got out of that.
Yes.
I hate this for her.
I hated reading it.
That was awful.
Again, it wasn't something that was like crazy or like he wasn't an inherently bad person, but like I'm just thinking about being next to this person and
no, like that was bad.
That was
That was awful.
Oh my gosh. Like, what is wrong with you?
I really hate that.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me pick a last one.
I don't have any more, so that was my last one.
Okay. This is a really long one too. I didn't read all of it through, so
we're figuring it out
in it together. Oh God, it says. I've been on a few, but the one that really takes, I think this was like a worst dates thread. I've been on a few, but this one really takes the cake. But the one that really takes the cake is the time that a guy stole my keys. I was young and dumb. I started talking to this guy on a dating site. We agreed to meet at a bar that was about a 5-minute walk from my house. First of all, the guy is late, like over 30 minutes late, which almost makes me back out, but he keeps texting me updates that he's almost there. I give him the benefit of the doubt since he is driving a long distance to get here. Once he finally arrives, over an hour late, I immediately realize that I'm not as attracted to him as I thought I would be. Nothing I can put my finger on, there just isn't any chemistry between us. From the vibe he gave off, he seemed like the feeling was mutual. We still got along pretty well, though, and he did drive all the way to see me, so I figured we could hang out a bit more before he went home. The bar we went to didn't have anyone in there besides us, and after an hour or so, the bartender decides to close early. Since I live such a short distance away, I invite the guy over to my place to smoke a bowl and chit-chat before he heads home. We stop at his truck to get something out of it before we walk to my place. We get to my place and smoke a bowl, watch a few YouTube videos, have a fun conversation. Then, out of left field, in parentheses, because he had shown zero attraction to me all night and vice versa, he puts his arm around me and goes in for a kiss. I do an awkward shrug out from under his arm and say no thanks. We both sit in silence for a moment until I change the subject and we resume watching a video. A few minutes after, he tries it again. I do the shrug again to get away from him. This time, his response is to do a big, exaggerated, cartoonish yawn stretch and announce that he's going to take a nap on my floor for a bit before he drives all the way back home. He then proceeds to lay down, close his eyes, and not respond when I talk to him. If this happened now, there's no way I would do what I did then. If this happened now, there's no way I would do what I did then. I don't know what that means. Actually, if it was now, oh, I get it. I wouldn't have done most of the things that led to this. Remember, young and dumb. I turn out the lights and leave him in my room to go hang out with my roommate in the kitchen. A few minutes later, I get a text from this guy that made my stomach drop. It said, "Sorry, I took your keys. I'm going to leave them in the center console of your car." Now, I lived in a granny unit unattached from the main house that sat in the backyard. It was for this reason that I did not see him slip out of my room. I run back out and the lights are off and the dude is gone. Sure enough, so are my keys. I go out and check the center console. No keys. I call and text this guy over and over to no response. I don't know what he's trying to pull, but I know where his truck is parked, so I run down to it. The truck is still there, but he's nowhere in sight. He still isn't answering my calls. So I start pacing around his truck, my logic being that he's not going to get away with stealing my keys. At this point, I'm completely freaked out, thinking he lured me out of my house and he's probably robbing me blind. I don't dare leave the truck, though, in case he tries to make a getaway. After about 45 minutes of pacing and calling him over and over, his phone starts going straight to voicemail and he still hasn't appeared. Again, the truck is about a 5-minute walk from my place, so where he has been all this time is a mystery. Eventually, a police car drives by. They circle the block and pull in. Curious why I'm pacing around an abandoned parking lot at midnight, I tell the cops the whole story. The weird date, the disappearance, the keys, the center console, everything. The cops are just as weirded out as I am. I ask them if they wouldn't mind going to check my center console again for the keys because I don't want to leave the truck while he still has them. They oblige and come back a few minutes later to tell me that my keys are in fact in my car. I ask them if they wouldn't mind giving me a ride home because I'm kind of terrified of this guy now. They kindly let me hop in the back seat. Once I got home and got my keys out of the car, I gave them a statement and description. They said they'd be on the lookout for the dude. I go into my room and nothing is out of place. Nothing is missing or disturbed. I drove by where his truck was parked the next morning and it was gone. He deleted his dating profile and blocked me on Facebook. To this day, there's so much I'd like to know about that night. Why did he take my keys in the first place? If he was planning on robbing me, why did he tip me off that he took them? Why didn't he steal anything if that was his intention? Most of all, where was he hiding all of that time? I'll probably never find out. He did send me some creepy messages on Facebook years later with a half-assed apology and tried to explain that the reason he left was because he, quote, misunderstood something I said, end quote. But his excuse was weak and it didn't add up, and he refused to answer when I asked why he took my keys and where he was hiding. Then he blocked me again. Needless to say, I was incredibly foolish and also incredibly lucky that nothing worse happened. I used online dating here and there again afterwards, but was always much more careful about my interactions. Where was he?
I have two theories.
Okay.
One was he was still there. I don't think he left.
Like, you think he was still in her?
Yes.
But where?
Under the bed, in the closet, something.
Okay. For what reason?
I don't know. He tried to kiss her like 3 times and she said no.
But then why steal her key? But he had to have left at some point because
Right.
the keys then ended up being in the car.
But she left.
Yeah.
She left. And then after that, my other thought was he made a copy of her key.
That's what one of the comments was.
But he never came back. She was blocked on everything. Why have a copy of someone's, like,
Weird.
what? And you live an hour away.
Right.
I don't know.
Strange.
Odd.
Very strange.
I didn't like that.
No, I didn't like it. But I'm glad that we suffered through it together.
Yes. Yes.
For the first time.
Jeez.
So, yeah. That's it.
Wild.
That was fun.
Was it, though?
It was kind of fun.
It was.
I liked it.
It was good.
This is a chill episode.
This was...
I feel for these people that we're
Yes.
talking about that had to go through all of this. I feel for you. I'm sorry that, this was your experience.
I
But-
feel for you.
But thank you for
sharing.
No,
No, I feel for you. I understand your pain.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I don't have anything else to say because people are weird, man. Like,
Yeah.
that's it.
People are weird.
People are really fucking weird.
Shall we?
We shall. All right. So we hope you guys enjoyed.
Thank you.
You're welcome. We hope you guys enjoyed this episode. And staying tuned in and seeing what we do every week. We appreciate everyone who listens and we want to hear from you. Okay. So we want to know what you want to see, what you want to hear. What do you want us to talk about? So a couple ways you can get in touch with us. One is on Instagram at Chat MBTea, MBTEA. Another is through our email at chatmbtea, MBTEA @gmail.com. Also, you can text us right through our website. So if you go on our website, you click on this episode, it says send us a text. Click that link and you can send us a text and it's completely anonymous. Mom, it's anonymous. Just saying. Additionally, if you guys are listening and not watching and would like to see our reactions to these absolutely horrific stories, check us out on YouTube at Chat MBTea. We can't wait to hear from you and hopefully you keep tuning in and we'll see you next time. Thank you.